Welcome everybody to Community Redevelopment Agency, City of Lake City, February 2nd, 2026. And we will go ahead and begin this meeting with a pledge and invocation. If you will stand for me, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your heads. Lord, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together on this beautiful Monday in beautiful Lake City. And Lord, please help this body make great decisions for the future of Lake City. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. We'll begin with roll call.
Okay. Mr. Jernigan?
Present.
Ms. Harris? Present. Ms. Young? Here. Mr. Carter?
Present.
Chairman Walker?
Here.
City Manager Rosenthal?
Here.
City Attorney Martin?
Here.
Chief Butler?
We'll move on to approval of the agenda. Actually, approval of minutes from 2015, December 15, 2025.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve December 15, 2025 minutes.
A motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, like sign? All right, now we'll move on to approval of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve the agenda as written.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? All right. I don't have anybody signed up for public comment. Chief, do you see anything in the? No, sir. Thank you. So I will open and close public comment, and we will move on to our items of discussion and begin with item number 2, consideration and selection of program, consideration and selection of application period, and discussion and direction to staff relating to the appointment of an advisory board. And I will turn this over to Mr. Rosenthal and Mr. Thomason. Oh,
Mr. Rosenthal, just hold on 1 minute, sir. Just hold on 1 minute. Even though we don't have anybody that's going to be talking to the podium, I think you still need to read that just in case the people out there is aware that we didn't have anybody, but they're going to know the rules of decorum.
sure. Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened its public meeting, and this would be the CRA board has opened its public meeting. Since 1968, the City Code has prohibited any person from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the CRA board. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There is only one approved manner of addressing the CRA board, and that is to be recognized and then to speak from the podium. Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Now we will move on to the presentation from Mr. Thomason.
Thank you. Kind of overview of what we currently have as a facade grant program is for commercial. It's a $5,000 50-50 matching grant. And that's it. Can you hear me better? I don't want to be ignorant up here. All right. So we have a 50-50 matching grant. It's up to $5,000. So last meeting, we talked about doing a larger grant program. So I know there was some numbers thrown around, and there was thoughts about the city putting all the money forward. But after doing a lot of research and a lot of talking to members of the community, and as well as some of y'all, we came up with what we thought was the best path forward. So what we have is an expanded facade grant program. We've expanded all the work that can be done, which includes roofs, includes demolition, includes a lot of other things rather than just awnings and paint. You can do windows, porches, signage, lighting. So there's all kinds of things that we can do. So what we have done, and this is just the commercial one, is we are looking at or doing up to $25,000 that the CRA puts forward. It's an 80-20 match. So with if they do 25, if we give 25, they have to contribute at least $6,250. This is a very generous program, and I would dare say this is a good idea to do it as a pilot for this year and see how it works, because most CRAs will only still do a 50-50. They don't do an 80-20. So this is very generous. Obviously, the applicant can contribute more if they want. There is a scoring system, and if the more they contribute, the better chance they have of getting the grants. So if you go back to, on the last page, or towards the last page, we have a scoring system. Consistent with the CRA plan, reduction of slum and blight, you can get 25 points for that. Private investment leverage, that's how much they're willing to contribute. You can get 25 points for that. They have to do at least the minimum. Project readiness, permit status, 10 points. Economic benefit, job creation, tax base impact, that's another 25 points. Getting community support, getting letters from their neighbors or people in the community, that's 5 points. And then we have demonstrates a positive impact within the community, that's 10 points. So they have to get at least 80 points. Pretty easy to do. All right, we're trying to make things easy for people to apply and easy to get the money. The idea is we want the businesses to thrive. We want our downtown to look better. We want the CRA district to look better. Some of the other things that are in this plan is that the CRA will oversee the project. We're not going to just give a blank check. We're working with procurement to vet the contractors. We're getting prices together for all kinds of work, and we are going to vet the contractors. We're going to get the best price for the job, and we're going to oversee it and make sure it's done correctly. So, do you have any questions?
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes, I got a question, sir. Thank you for recognizing me as well. My question is, I heard you say we're going to be really generous and go 80-20. I guess in the surrounding areas, it's always a 50-50. So why would we be so generous? The city of Lake City got plenty of money to give away, or we got a lot of people that's in need. There's got to be a reason why we decided to go 80-20 instead of 50-50 like these surrounding areas.
There is a lot of businesses in need, a lot of smaller businesses that may not have that $25,000 to do a 50-50 grant. And that's what we're really looking at, is helping some of these smaller businesses that have maybe not been able to get the help before.
And Councilmember, we'd like to encourage the use of this grant. This is something brand new. We want to make sure it's something that the people can actually use.
That's my question, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Mr. Carter?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, if I may, I don't mind the 80-20 split. Obviously, it's like a fire sale. It's like telling everybody, hey, we're back and we're doing this again. You know, come and get help and get going with your projects. I like that. But I have a question, and so I want to make sure we don't miss it, because it's listed here as one item, but you didn't say anything at all about the advisory board. Is it we're going to talk about that next, or do we need to talk about it now?
I would bring that up after this.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Ms. Young?
Do have something. The statement, the more they have to give, the better chance they get approved. I don't really like that. Go ahead.
I have a question related to that as well.
Yeah, because like someone just said, you know, and I may have been you, is that the older buildings who, and some of the owners just may not have. So I really don't think, it doesn't seem right that we're gonna give favor to those who can't afford than to those who just doesn't have. So I don't think that they should have priority over the ones who are less fortunate.
I don't think there's priority. You're going to get the 20 points is just for having the minimum.
Okay, but you said the more they have funds to give toward it, then.
That is one of the scoring criteria, yes.
So that does put them in a higher bracket.
In theory, it could, yes. But there's also, we have first come, first served too. So whatever the board decides to, how much they want to put into this program, you know, if you do 250, that's 10 projects that can be done.
So if I may, I'd like to point out that as long as a person gets to 80, they qualify for the program. What he was talking about is a stronger position, but
Right.
80 qualifies for the program.
We're just trying to get people to the program.
And we certainly wouldn't neglect people that didn't have money to put in because somebody else had some. He was just talking about all the possibilities involved with it. But 80 points gets you in the program.
Okay, I just don't want to leave behind those who,
I
That's a
understand.
valid concern.
If a business owner wants to contribute more, we're not going to stop them.
Mr. Carter?
Just to further clarify that, so hypothetically, I'm applying for a $25,000 grant, and I need to be able to put up at least
6250.
50. So if I have a project and it's 25,000, or I want to put the grant of 25,000 towards it, if I've got $10,000 and another person has just the 6250, and there's only, let's just say there's only 25 left in what we've allocated for the year, does the person who's willing to put in 10 get it over the person who's willing to put in 6250? Is that relevant to the scoring criteria?
No, that's a great question. Now, it really is going to be in who applied first, as long as they meet the
So
criteria.
that takes precedence. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. And then all of this makes perfect sense. I like that. I just wanted to clarify that. And obviously, there's only so much when we get to the end to get to the end.
And the key, Councilman, is getting to the 80 points.
Sure.
And again, if we can, look, I would use this as a pilot, and if it kicks off, great. And if we can continue it next year, even better. We'll see where we're at. I've had a lot of interest, people coming into my office, people calling. We have a lot of people that want to apply right away.
And I'd like to point out too that no doubt, this will be the first time we're doing this, so there are going to be some adjustments. And some of those adjustments might cover the area that Councilmember Young had talked about. But we're going to make sure that the original criteria is 80 points.
Gotcha.
Any other questions, comments?
I'm a little concerned. I think it's a great idea. I think it's good how you're doing it. But I am thinking about the smaller businesses. Say, for instance, we're saying 6250, like that's a small amount of money. But to a business owner that is barely making it, and their place might need more work versus somebody that could easily put that 6250 up. You know what I mean? Will we have a system in place whereas, I don't know, they can make payments on that 6250, or it has to be one lump sum 6250? Because if you're a business owner and you're already struggling, and your building just might be worse than some of the, we'll just say the buildings that has had CRA fundings and that has been able to get things done and kept up. So that would be my concern.
Well, the 25 is the max, and if they only have like $10,000 worth of work, we would do 80% of that, and they would do 20% of that. It really, there is an affordability thing, and I get that. But we also want the businesses to, for lack of a better way to put it, have some skin in the game.
Yeah.
We want them to do that, because otherwise, when they do that, they tend to take a little more pride in what is done. So we want to make sure that, they feel like they're part of it, that we're not just giving a complete handout. We want them to invest in themselves. And if that means, well, I only have a couple thousand to invest, then we can give them up to that. And like I said, we're going to work with the contractors to get the best possible pricing and the best job. So we're going to try to work within everyone's means.
And also, based on what we experienced, because again, I want to keep emphasizing this is our first time doing this, there are going to be some adjustments. Maybe some adjustments are that for some it's not, who knows? But we want to initiate this thing, get it started, and work through. And then when we come around again, we'll have a solution for some of these things that we're discussing right now.
Probably be worth it in instigating our financial institutions here in town to talk about lines of credit or something to bridge that gap as well.
And that's a good idea. That's something that, as you're aware, we're working on a new CRA plan, and that's something that definitely should be part of that new plan to be able to work with some lending institutions.
And I do know that First Federal is willing to work with us on that.
Can we do something like maybe implement a plan whereas if, for, let's just say the last 2 times that we have had CRA monies and that money got funded out, can we put something in place if you have received monies 2 times in a row or 1 time in a row and somebody that has never received it? Can we put something in place where that person maybe could, I don't want to leave nobody out. We're thinking because you have a business, you have plenty of money. And I had one, I promise you, you don't have money like that. So I
there-
don't want to leave nobody behind because everybody want their business to look good. And I'm gonna just say it how I feel it. And we're gonna say, from Franklin Street down this way, CRA funds have been spent often down this way. You have the other end that's a little more or less fortunate and maybe not being able to pull out, say, 20% in one wop and do it. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones I'm concerned about, because if they didn't have 6250 5 years ago, they ain't gonna probably have it today if their business is struggling. I just don't wanna keep funneling the money to somebody, to the haves and not the have-nots. I want everybody to have an equal opportunity. And if you have been able to get the monies last year and the year before that, I don't know, and I don't know the answer to it. I don't know how we will come about getting to a place whereas we can have something implemented where we can figure this out, but
So there is a provision in here that says a parcel or a business owner can do once a year. And there's also a 180-day cooling off period from the time of their application before they can apply again. But we can change the scoring and add this might help you too, Ms. Young, we can reduce the private investment down like to 10 points and add another line for new applicants will automatically get 15 points, if that's something you wish to do.
Thank you. Mr. Carter.
Two things. First thing, real quick. 20% of 25 is 5,000. What's 6250?
That's how you figure out grants.
Okay.
It's a little different math, and the formulas are in
It's
here.
not exactly 80/20. It's something like that.
The formulas are in here, and that's typically how the federal government and the state governments
Okay.
consider grants.
All right. Thank you. And then second thing, really more us chatting for a second. I get what you're saying, but I also wonder if we have a business owner or in the future a resident or an investor of some kind, and they come to us, they get a grant, they succeed and finish the project, and they come back to do another one, and then maybe in the future come back to do another one. I don't know that I would necessarily want to penalize or lower on the list someone who's clearly taking it and being productive with it, you know? And also, I do feel pretty strongly that if we're giving, most CRAs are 50-50, and generally speaking, you gotta come up with your half. If in this case, we're requiring 20%, I don't want to be harsh, and obviously I'm not talking about any one business or investor in particular, but I feel like if you can't come up with 20%, you're not ready yet. If you're going to get the
I think
lion's
that's a-
share
I
of
think that's a little
20,000,
harsh
I
and
think
out
if
of
you're going to get the
line.
lion's share of $25,000 for a project, I'm concerned if you're not able to come up with the 20%, it seems like a higher risk. So I feel like we want these monies to be as well spent as possible because we want them to be effective in beautifying and improving the area. So for me, I feel like I would be pretty solid on not a financing situation or any of that kind of stuff on their side. And I don't even know if you could do that legally. Usually with those sort of grants and stuff like that, they're pretty straightforward, but that's not my,
Ms.
that's
Young.
just my opinion.
We have to also be mindful that it's not all about the business owner. It's about Lake City. It's about our historic area here. We want it beautified. So if it take an extra step to help a business owner, then we need to do that. Because are you gonna have one building that sticks out like a sore thumb and the rest of them has passed the mark of beautification, what is that gonna say about Lake City?
I agree with that 100%. However, I just think that giving someone 80% of $25,000 is that extra step.
That's the step.
A lot of business owners don't get grants to do anything.
Mr. Rosenthal.
Yeah, I was just saying, I know that in having numerous conversations with First Federal Bank, they're willing to help us with this program any way they can. So if we need First Federal to finance the first down payment on, they might be willing to do that. Staff would like permission to talk to the bank and see what they can come up with on this to make this work. This is an initial program. There are going to be many adjustments that we make as we go along. We will involve this body on each grant that we do, so that you can have your input before we finalize it. Because I know there's still a lot of questions that various board members have.
My only thought was that on a second time user, the 80-20 be used for a first time user, and then potentially for second, third time users, you go to a 50-50.
We could, yeah,
a-
we can make that
a
adjustment.
50-50 split in that way.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I like this program. I think that it's well put together. I think that it'll incentivize a lot of redevelopment and growth downtown. Does anybody else have any questions, comments? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Rosenthal just said, I want you to clarify the last statement that you just made about,
The banks?
what did you say, do what and come back?
I just said that in my conversation with the bank, they've shown a willingness to be able to work with us. If some of the people need help with the down payments, things like that. Also, if, say somebody needs a roof, the maximum amount is $25,000. Say somebody needs a roof, maybe they don't need 25,000 roof, maybe they need 10. Now that 10% that we require, or whatever percentage that was, I think it was 10, is much lower than the 6,000.
I like that, but that wasn't the statement I was referring to. I was referring to the statement, I thought I heard you say that, we do some adjustments on it and come back.
Oh, absolutely, yes, this is a new program. We're gonna be doing adjustments on it as we go
Oh,
along.
but that doesn't mean prolong the initial.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
We're gonna,
thank you.
we're gonna have to do this as we're going through it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
No, we do anticipate hitting some speed bumps. That's just part of a new program. I mean, staff has done a lot of research, putting this together. But with any new program, we do anticipate some speed bumps, but it's nothing we can't handle and just fix on the fly. Like even tonight with this 50-50 split for after your first time, I don't know, Attorney Martin, is that something we can do tonight and just add it in? Or is that something we have to come back with?
Well, this is a new program. All we're asking for is guidance now, and we're gonna come back anyway with the final product. So we can bring that adjustment back and then get that approved with the rest of it.
Okay,
Nobody will be able to come back this time anyway. We don't have that much money.
No.
So they'll get one shot at this.
that's very
Yes.
true. So maybe next year we can,
Right.
Right.
I have to say, I agree with what the mayor said about the, if you've done it before, the 50% applies to you. I like that.
So I think, Mayor, we have our guidance on the program, but now we need to talk about the consideration and selection of the application period. I think the original suggestion was 30 days.
Well, let's open up conversation on it. Ms. Young, you had something?
Yeah, I think that's 30 days is a bit much, in my view.
Mr. Carter?
Do you mean too many days?
You mean posting it for 30, advertising 30 days, posting 30 days?
Yeah, having it open for 30 days.
I think that's too much. We want to go ahead and get this moving. Why would you say extend it? 30 days.
Mr. Thomason?
you're gonna have to give us a couple of weeks or at least 30 days to get procurement, to get their, all their requests for
set up.
proposals out there and get set up. As far as the application period, I would open it at a specific time and I would not close it until we don't have the funds.
Sure.
Okay, so then, if I may, so you're saying, once you guys have, you're saying you'll be ready to launch this in 30 days?
I don't see an issue with that.
And then the intention would be to open application process and take applications until there's no funds left in this particular allocation?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And then what kind of time frame are we looking at? Maybe that's what we're discussing now, from application to determination to,
Yes.
If the CRA board is going to vote on it, then when we get the applications, then we'll have to get a meeting scheduled and you'll have to vote
because it'll
on
have
it.
to be advertised, et cetera.
Yes.
Okay. One more, Mr.
No,
Turner?
I want to be clear, I have, and it's relevant to this part, but it's important to that next part.
Yeah,
I have
the next part. We'll
Thoughts on the board.
talk about it. Yes, ma'am.
Clarity. So we get an application, just say we get an application tomorrow. The application is complete, our part of the process of application is completed, right? Okay, so an applicant comes in, fill out the application. Tell me the process from that and timing.
So if you go on to page, which would be page 14 of your agenda, it goes through the whole thing. We do have a pre-application conference. We want to speak with the applicant, get an idea of where they're at, what they plan on doing. That way we can provide guidance to them. In our thing, it says they have to submit at least 4 weeks prior to the next CRA meeting because there is staff work that needs to be done. And again, we have to advertise all that. We have about 10 items they have to include with their application, but they will meet with us and then we will provide guidance and set up a meeting at the, or a hearing at the CRA meeting. And then that's really it. Once you guys approve it, it goes to the next phase, and that's the construction phase, the permitting and construction.
I think I see what you're saying. Okay, but to the councilwoman's point, I think she's saying, okay, we've done all that, what happens next? So what happens next is that all the ones that are ready for approval are taken to the advisory board rates those, then we bring back to the council our recommendations. And then those have already been approved by the advisory council, but we bring it back to the council to spend the money. Then once that's done, we hand out the grants.
Mr. Jernigan, you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a long process.
You know, I agree with Vice Mayor Young with the process. However, I definitely don't want to rush you because just like the city manager says, this is our first time. We're going to come into some stumbling blocks here, there, everywhere. So I just want to make sure once we get it in place that we expedite it as quickly as possible, not 2 months, 3 months. I don't want to kick the can down the road. I want to go ahead and, well, I say I don't like the word, want to hear the word I. We would like to see the program, you know, take off, so to say. So keep that in mind, okay?
And I appreciate you not wanting to rush us, especially I wear many hats, so this is just one of the multiple hats I wear during the day. We do, like I said, we require about 4 weeks because we've got to get all the paperwork in, make sure they're there. We have to get the estimates from the contractors, pick out the best ones, and then we can bring it to the board for final approval.
Mr. Rosenthal?
Yeah, if I may, and hearing the discussion back with the council, looking for what Scott's saying, one way to speed it up a little bit would be to have an outside advisory board. Advisory board made up of business owners in the CRA or people that live in the CRA. And then we could call that advisory board together as soon as we got a score of 80. And then we could do the grant like that. Wouldn't have to come back to the board once we get your initial approval.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
So to conclude on the application period, and then we'll move. I like that. But are we concluded on the application period? 30 days from now, we'll have a window that opens up. Yes, sir, Mr. Martin.
Mr. Mayor, before we get too far away from the issues before the board, revisiting the first issue, I would suggest that there actually be a motion accepting the application that has been presented to the board.
Okay.
And then following that, as you are now, a motion approving the timeline before you go into the discussion about the advisory board and the mechanics of it.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I was under the impression that we had a couple things that we had to clean up on that, or no?
I think we're okay on that, 30 days. And
Okay,
we
well-
were talking about how to make it faster.
So let me clarify. We had a couple of things that we wanted to clean up on the program itself. Is that right? No? Okay, all right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
those were suggestions that we decided we would
Sure.
do next year.
Sure.
Like the 50-50 on a second time, and things
Okay.
like that. That being said, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the application as presented.
And I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you both. Before we move on, we do have someone who put in a comment card, so we have a defined proposition now. So Ms. Coker, I'm going to open this up for public comment and ask if this is what you were wanting to speak to. So, okay, thank you. And then we'll come back for
Yeah,
final
one more
comments,
issue.
questions.
Good evening, B. Coker. I just wanted to clarify if the application includes leased property in the CRA, or are these applicants all the owners of the building? And if they are the lessees of the building, to consider that they are the applicants improving property that they don't own. So I just want to make sure that you've considered that in the criteria and what is the position of the council.
Thank you, Ms. Coker.
I think Scott can answer that question for us.
Mr. Thomason, and then you had something, Mr. Rosenthal.
Yes.
The application has to be done by the property owner because it's the property owner, the properties that's getting approved. They can have a tenant, but it has to be the property owner that applies.
Thank you, Mr. Thomason. Mr. Rosenthal.
So we have direction on the program, we have direction on the application period. Now we need to, some direction on whether or not the staff should have an outside advisory to make
Hold
this
on,
go faster.
Mr. Rosenthal, not yet. We've got a motion and a second to approve the program selection first. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
So now we'll open up for comments, final comments, questions from the board. Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Chairman Walker?
Yes. All right. Now we'll move on to the second item, which is consideration and selection of application period. Yes, sir, Mr. Carter.
So previously, the city had a CRA advisory board. I think it was 11 people, and then it became 9, I think. And I believe it was sort of managed or maintained through Ms. Phillips, her department. When we had one, it's been a few years.
Mr. Mayor, did we ever
Yeah.
get a decision on the timeline?
We have not had a decision on the timeline yet.
Yeah, we need the timeline.
Oh, I thought. Does that need to be a motion?
Yeah, we need a motion to open a timeline.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought he said he'd have it ready in 30 days. So what kind of a motion do we need for that?
Are you looking for a March 1st opportunity?
Let's do March 2nd, that's a Monday.
March 2nd, it's a Monday.
Mr. Mayor, I move to begin this on March 2nd. Do I need to say it in a different way? Is there something specific I need to say here?
To clarify, that would be begin receiving applications on March 2nd for a period of 4 weeks.
Okay.
Would that be
Yes.
the intent of the
Well,
council?
For a period of 4 weeks.
Just ended on a Monday, we could do 30 days too, which would be 2 additional days, but
Now, that I need to clarify, because we had discussed the idea that we would accept applications until there were no longer funds in this allocated section. So my understanding was that Mr. Thomason said we would be ready to go in roughly 30 days. So basically, is there need to be an end date for application acceptance?
No.
No, okay,
This fiscal year,
okay. So then I move that we begin accepting applications.
Don't do it yet.
We have a motion. He's making a motion
On
first, and then
March
we'll
2nd.
come back.
Okay.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second for discussion?
I'll second for
Okay, we have a second for discussion. Ms. Young?
Okay. Back to the timeline, the 30-day timeline. So we're gonna advertise for 30 days before accepting applications? Is that what I just heard?
He's putting together the program for the next 30 days. He'll advertise, and it will launch on March 2nd. with the having been advertised.
Right. So the advertising, we're getting authorization to open it up on March the 2nd. We'll start taking applications on March the 2nd, once it's opened up.
Ms. Young,
Stop when the funds are gone.
we were waiting to get this approved, and as the city is going to be vetting the contractors and trying to get the best price by working with them, procurement has to send requests for proposals out to get pricing.
Yeah. So my concern is that we've been working on this for some time. And then when we get here, we ask for 30 days. My concern is that we're gonna get lax. The more time we have, then we tend to get lax. Like what happened between the time up to now. So I just wanna see this program get moving. We just been having a practice of dropping the ball, and it just sit there rolling for a while.
I could assure you, no one has dropped the ball.
So you
My staff
need-
has been working
Oh,
hard
I
to
didn't
get
say
this
on this
thing.
particular.
No, she's talking about
you
the
don't-
past.
Don't speak too
Oh.
fast.
Mr. Mayor?
So you need 30 days.
I'll let procurement answer that.
Thank you.
I've already prepared the RFP. I was just waiting on direction, if that's what we were going to do. The RFP can go out this week. It'll need to run for 30 days. I will need to do an evaluation committee. So we're looking at least 60 days if we're going to establish a pre-qualified list of contractors.
But we can go ahead and start taking applications and
Right.
scoring projects at the 30 days and have them ready to go by that 60th day.
Right.
Right.
That makes sense?
Makes sense.
Mr. Carter, you had something?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, we have a motion and a second. We've had discussion, questions. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
I'd like to clarify the motion. The motion is to begin accepting applications on March the 2nd.
Yes.
Okay? I have a motion by Mr. Carter and a second by Ms. Young. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Chairman Walker?
Yes. All right. Now we're moving into discussion and direction of staff relating to the appointment of an advisory board. Mr. Carter, you had something that you were speaking to on this?
So, we used to have a standard advisory board made up of business owners and citizens that live within the CRA. I think that a body like that is valuable. There are multiple options, though. At the moment, we serve as the CRA board. There was an advisory board that would advise us. Many communities have a standing solo CRA board in that, still, generally speaking, obviously we would be able to control the makeup of it, but it's usually business owners and citizens that live within the CRA that functions separate from us. I know that High Springs does it, just around here, High Springs does it, Gainesville does it, and I think multiple CRAs there. And if you visit some of those CRAs, they're doing a jam-up job. And I think part of it is that by allowing it to function somewhat independently of the council and the business owners and the citizens that are on the board, being incentivized to be successful in their projects, because the more successful they are, the more the property values in the area rise and things like that. The greater projects they'll be able to get done. So I'd be interested to see what would be involved. Obviously, if the rest of the council would all be interested in that, what would be involved in us setting something like that up? They could serve independently of this board, and rather than giving us advice, they would be handling the committees and the approval. They would obviously still coordinate with a member of staff. So I'm not entirely sure how all that needs to be set up. But again, it seems like and I know that speed is something of an issue. It seems like that may be a bit of a quicker way for some things to get done, and also kind of giving that group a bit of ownership of the CRA, like a feeling of ownership of the projects that they get done. It seems like a good and possibly positive way to do it. What are your thoughts, Mr. Thomas?
I agree with that. I really do. I think an independent board is probably the way to go.
Sure, because in a lot of ways for the CRA board, from my experience here, is it's just a meeting that gets put on the docket every once in a while. We have a random thing to talk about, but none of us, well, or have, Mayor Walker, I believe, does own a business within the CRA or adjacent to it. None of us are business owners in the CRA. I don't know if any of us live in the CRA. I do not. But I think that letting the body that's kind of really working behind the scenes to make that CRA thrive be those people makes a lot of sense to me. And again, a lot of communities do it that way, and it has just the ones that I've looked into nearby us. They seem to really be nailing it. So.
I don't know if that's something that can be set up tonight or at a council meeting, or we can write it into the new CRA plan that's in the works.
Right.
It's probably that, but as opposed to having an advisory board that advises us, and especially if we're going to be getting more active, you'll find that we'll end up having CRA meetings all the time, in addition to our regular council meetings, and may sometimes need to do them in different days, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's an interesting way to approach it. I like it. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but
I think it's good for thought.
I think it's a good idea.
I do too.
So we'll need direction on whether or not to form a CRA board.
Yes.
So
Separate. I think.
But as a council, I think consensus is that we would like to form an independent CRA board.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and, if someone would like to make a motion to that way we'll go ahead and formalize it. Yes, sir, Mr. Martin.
Mr. Mayor, I was just going to ask that perhaps the council consider the motion being to direct staff to develop an ordinance and bring back to the council for consideration in forming that board.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for the council to develop an ordinance for the forming of that board and bring it back to us.
Second.
A motion, and a second. Do we have any final comments, questions, thoughts on the board? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Chairman Walker?
Yes. All right. That concludes all of the items that we have in our CRA meeting packet. We will have our regularly scheduled meeting begin at 6 p.m. Thank you.